You have family, you have friends, you have a job, or maybe you go to school. You do the things you do every day. But the question that I want to look at in this video is, are you really you? Alright, now hold on, I get it. Of course you're you, yeah? Alright, well just watch the video. I think first, to get more of a grasp on what we're talking about, we need to explain something called the ego. Now, what is the ego? You've heard it many times, someone having a big ego, someone being egotistical. But ego isn't inherently a bad thing. So what is ego? Ego is your sense of self. Your sense of who you are. But just because you have a sense of who you are doesn't mean you have a correct sense of who you are. I think to really understand what I'm trying to portray here, we need to look at the philosopher Alan Watts. According to Alan Watts' Wikipedia, he was an English writer, speaker, and self-styled philosophical entertainer, known for interpreting and popularizing Japanese, Chinese, and Indian traditions of Buddhist, Taoist, and Hindu philosophy for a Western audience. Now, what Alan Watts did is very unique. A lot of people have tried to portray these Eastern religions' ideas to the West, but not many did it quite as well as Alan did.
Now, I've got to be very clear to you what I mean by an ego. An ego is not the same thing as a particular living organism. For my philosophy, the particular living organism, which is inseparable from a particular environment, that is to say, from the universe as centered here and now, is something real. It isn't a thing. I call it a feature of the universe. But what we call our ego is something abstract, which is to say, it has the same order and kind of reality as an hour, or an inch, or a pound, or a line of longitude. It is for purposes of discussion. It is for convenience. In other words, it is a social convention that we have what is called an ego.
What he is portraying here is that the sense of who you are is nothing more than an idea. They are a list of identifiers which are convenient. So what kind of things do people associate with their sense of self, who they think they are? Well, if I asked you to explain to me who you are, what would you say? You might say your name, but your name is pretty arbitrary. It's an idea to identify you. So maybe instead you'd say your age, how many years you've been here. But our measurement of time is also pretty arbitrary. It's useful for our day-to-day existence, but other than that, it's pretty arbitrary. You might say your occupation, but that's something you do. That's not who you are. You might be sat there and thinking about this, and maybe you'd say your body, that's a physical thing. You can feel it, you can see from it, you can hear from it, you can taste from it. So maybe you're your body, but are you your body? When someone comes up to you and asks you who you are, you don't show them your hand and say, this is me. Okay, so maybe you could conclude that your body isn't your sense of self, but it is yourself. But which part of your body are you? Which atom of your body are you? Well, of course you're not a singular atom of your body. You are the collection of all the atoms that make up your body, because they work together in a system. All your body parts are separate, but they're connected into a system. But why stop at your body? The trees take carbon dioxide and give out oxygen, and then we take in that oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide, and it's this cycle. There is a system going on there. That is a process of a system. So are we also the trees? What we call our body depends on the entire ecological system to survive and live off, and it depends on us as well. Then we are no different than the trees, the grass, the animals, or anything. We are that as well. And that is all localized on the earth, which is dependent on things like the sun and the moon and the whole planetary system to exist in the way it does. And that whole planetary system is dependent on a bunch of other shit. We can go out as far as we want. I'm not going to keep going out forever, because I would be explaining the entire fucking universe to you. But hold on, right? If someone asks who you are, you're not going to tell them you're the sun. You're not going to tell them you're the universe. You're not going to tell them you're the galaxy. At least I'd hope not. That'd be a pretty weird way to present yourself. Of course you're not going to tell them that. That'd be fucking weird. Okay, so if the person that you tell people you are is just an idea of identifiers, then it can be anything. There is no restriction forcing you to be who you think you are. And you may sit there and think, oh, but people expect me to be this way, so I have to do this thing, and people know me this way, so it'd be weird if I just change it up, and it would, I know who I am. I do this thing all the time. Like, this is just what I feel like I want to do. So it must be me, right? That is a role you want to play. So you're playing it. That is fucking great. But at the end of the day, it is an act. Just because you are attached to a form of identification does not make it any more real. Just because you've been attached to a form of identification for so long does not mean you have to stick to it. It's not concrete. You can change it. You can do what you want with it. It's a fucking tool, and it's also really fun. You can do whatever you want with it. I know a lot of my videos have been politics based of some kind, or based around something that you can very easily factually prove with statistics and studies and all that stuff, and this isn't about that. It's more of just a more philosophical kind of video. And I shouldn't have to state this, but I will. This is an opinion. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know the answer to what the sense of self is, because I don't. I'm just talking shit because I find it interesting, and this is how I see it. Come to your own conclusions, come to your own beliefs, do your own research. Like the video if you liked it, comment below what you think, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Anyway, goodbye.